I'm not proposing to you. It's more of a will you marry me because we're not getting younger type of thing.
And that's the reason.
But why won't you marry me? What are you?
Her caption to this video actually said that he begged her not to post this online. So even he was trying to spare her from the embarrassment. Ladies, before you take pancake batter and spell out the words, "Will you marry me?" and present it on a plate to your long term boyfriend and ask him why he hasn't married you, just grab your things and move on. He knows that you want to be married. He knows that you're expecting a relationship to go in a certain way. You should never have to ask a man. You should never have to ask him. You should have in your mind a certain amount of time that you're willing to wait. And when that time has elapsed, then you realize, you know what? You tell him the relationship isn't progressing the way that I thought it would, the way that I hoped that it would. And I don't want to give this any more time. I know that it's easier said than done. But the last thing you want to be doing is begging the man. And look how he's taking a breath like, oh, he's looking very much like, here we go again. It makes you feel like, how many times have you asked this man to marry you? Clearly he doesn't want you if he hasn't asked. You don't want it like this. You don't want a proposal that you had to beg or manipulate or guilt trip out of a man. Because then you'll always have to wonder, did he marry me because he actually loved me or because I asked him to? You want it to be his idea. You want him to be head over heels, can't marry you fast enough. Like, you don't want it like this. You don't want to have begged and pleaded for it. A man always wants to feel like a decision this big was his idea. It's like some men will actually take the bait and they will marry you because you keep pressuring them. And I just made a video that went viral recently about how these men were like shoving wedding cake in their wives' faces. One wrestled a woman down to the ground. Another one, in his vows, he was saying all this disrespectful stuff to his new wife. Some of them will marry you due to the pressure, but they'll never let you forget that it was your idea. And I'll be real with you. One of the main reasons why a man won't marry you is because he doesn't have to. Because you're giving him all of the wife treatment without actually having to be a wife. You're cooking for him, cleaning for him, being intimate with him. You live together, you have kids together, you bought a house together, you own a business together, you share a same bank account. Like some of you are doing all of the things. There is nothing on the other side. He's getting every single thing that he could ever think of that he would ever get from you as a wife without having to make you one. And he won't. Like, there should always be some things that are reserved for a husband where he knows that if I want to take it to that level, I'm gonna have to marry this girl. But when you do all the things, like, that's why he don't want to marry you. Like, why should he? Y'all are doing too much for these boyfriends. And that's why they're happy they'll be your boyfriend for the rest of their lives if you let them.
Ooh wee. Powerful words. What's up, YouTube? Black Visionville in the building on another episode of Black Table Talk. It's your girl Katie, aka Yo Sister from another Mister, with my beautiful sister here as always, Miss K2 Cray. Shout out to the person who made that video. Her name is at Life Coach Sean. You can find her on TikTok. That was a very great video. Before we get started talking about that, as always, what is mental health? It is our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It is how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. And it seems like from that video, that young lady's mental health probably will not be good after that. Anyways, Miss K2 Cray, I'm going to pass it along to you. Go ahead and take it away. What did you think?
Oh, baby, I thought a lot of thoughts. But what's up, JC? How you doing? And
Shout out to JC in the building.
What's up, JC? And looking
Always
forward to that
showing
panel
love.
with you. Okay, looking forward to that panel. But yeah, so the fact that she thought that she was doing something when she posted that video, like, yeah, people gonna tell him, yeah, you better marry that girl, when she got the complete opposite. Like, yeah, that lets you know where her mindset is. And the thing is that you can't hold on to something that don't want to be held. And I don't know the severity of their relationship. I can't base their relationship off of a 60-second, 1 minute, 2 minute video. I can't do that. But based off of his reaction and just like, like she was saying, it looks like he's like, oh my gosh, not again, you
Right.
know? And some things y'all need to stop posting online. Y'all really got to, because you set yourself up for the world to just tell their opinions, and some people aren't ready for that. So before you post, remember some people might do the most. So don't, be careful with that. I've learned with the whole dating aspect that, like she said, don't beg no man to do nothing. Even if it's not marriage, even if it's like, hey babe, I think that we need to communicate more. I
Yeah.
think that maybe we don't talk to each other the way that we should, or whatever the case may be, or I need more affection, or let's go out more, whatever the case may be. When you, as a woman or as a man, as a person, let me say, because people nowadays, so as a person, if you're in a relationship and you say how you feel about something, because yes, it's perfectly fine to say how you feel, like, hey babe, I want to get married, we've been together for so long, or whatever the case may be, when is that going to happen? Now when your partner answers or reciprocates in a way that you're not aligned with, like if they say, oh man, I don't want to talk about this, or whatever the case may be, if you say, babe, we don't go out as often, you don't call me, you don't text me as often,
Yeah.
and you see that there's no change or there's no movement behind the message, then that's not for you. And I used to feel like, well, maybe, you know, I'm asking for too much. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm asking for too much. But sweetheart, when the right person is for you and y'all match each other energy, baby, you ain't gotta ask for shiz na ye. It's gonna happen easily. Okay? Like I've never begged no dude to marry me. Either you is or you ain't. You know what I mean? And I listen. I definitely don't want nobody to say, "Oh, you begging me," blah blah blah, and give me all of that. I don't want none of that in this cereal. I don't. But I have asked a man, "Hey, about communication," and or "Hey, I feel like we don't go out or whatever. I feel like this is just this. You know what I mean? I feel like it's not going nowhere. And when I see it's not reciprocated, then I pull out. And like she stated, you should never have to beg someone. If they care about you, they're gonna spend time. They're gonna have be affectionate. They're going to save up their coins to marry you. If it's a money issue, they're gonna be like, babe, right now it's really tight. Let me save up a little bit, and then I got you. You know what I mean? Like the man is gonna let you know what he is up to do.
Right.
Okay? You shouldn't have to force anyone to do anything. And I really want everyone to understand that. And I don't want you to ever feel like, oh, am I doing too much, or I'm asking for too much? Maybe I should just not ask for anything and just accept whatever I can get.
Right.
No, set your boundaries. What kind of relationship do you want? What do you want out that relationship? Because some people are okay with just living together and
Mhm.
just being copacetic. Marriage isn't for everyone. You know
Right.
what I mean? And you can't force marriage on someone who don't want to get married. And these are conversations that you have to have before you start a relationship. Hey,
Yeah.
do you want kids? Do you want monogamy? Do you want, like, you want to live together? Like, you have to have boundaries in that relationship. You can't just be like, oh, you fine, I'm fine, let's be fine together.
Right.
Not a relationship. That's that high
Mhm.
school shit. When you
Right.
get into a grown relationship, adult relationships, you need to have conversations.
Mhm.
It's more than just looks and sex. It's about mentalities. What's gonna happen? Like, because you could want kids and the other person don't.
Right.
The person could say, "Hey, now that we together, I want you to sit your butt in the house, and I'm gonna be the provider. You
Right.
may want that, you know." And it's like, or this person may say, hey, I want to have three more girlfriends, you know.
Right.
Welcome to the club, sis. So it's like, and now you're sitting here like, dang, we didn't discuss this, you didn't tell
Right.
me you wanted, you know what I mean? So it's like, you there's got to be communication, clear communication, but there's also got to be accountability, and also we have to let go of the attachments. You can't attach yourself to someone who doesn't want to be
Mhm.
attached. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know their relationship.
Right.
So I don't know their dynamic. But it looked like he don't want to get married. And I just don't understand what she was looking for when she posted that video.
Right.
But I'm assuming she wanted people to back her up and be like, "Oh, you better marry that woman. You see, she done put the pancake and spelled the M." That's a lot of dedication. Have
It
you ever
is.
seen pancakes? Pancakes is hard enough as a circle. Now you making shapes. You making letters. Oh, baby, that's dedication.
That definitely.
Okay, she got up real early to make that.
Right.
Okay.
You better marry that girl.
My man gonna love this, and you know,
Yeah.
how does that make you feel? I hope they're not together. I really hope not,
Yeah.
because they want two different things. And just like another video that we're gonna watch today, couples who are just coupling and they need to cut it out, like for real. It's a lot of people, and I see it every day. Heck, I was just on the phone with somebody that I heard, and I was like, damn, y'all don't need to be together because y'all doing too much. But yet again, we
Yeah.
live in a society where people make you feel like you are nothing if you are not with somebody. And they make you feel like, oh, it's something wrong with you if you're single. It's something
Right.
wrong with you if you back away. It's something
Mhm.
wrong with you if you don't want this, this, and this.
Right.
You know? So we got to really get out of judging people and assuming and, taking initiatives when there's nothing to back it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely don't like that. And I feel very bad about that because I know plenty of times I've been in a situation where I've cared more than the other person cared.
Yeah.
And then I end up feeling like I got egg on my face.
Right.
Listen, the situation that I'm in now shows me, hey, wipe that egg. You weren't asking for too much. You are worthy of this. You deserve someone who's gonna show you that they care.
Mhm.
Like the situation that I'm in now, I don't have to ask him for nothing.
Mm.
Like this man just does. He
See.
just is. And he just shows the affection. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Where have you been all my life?
Exactly, where have you been? But honestly, hearing his story and knowing mine, I see that we had to go through certain things to become the people that we are today.
Yeah.
And I hope that that's a wake-up call for both of them. I hope that he is more direct in what he wants and what he doesn't want, and she is more clear in who she is dealing with.
Yeah.
And I want clarity for both parties, for everybody, because nobody deserves to be in love by themselves.
Right.
That is the most hurtful thing ever, to care about somebody and to want to have a future with someone and they can't even see tomorrow with you, let alone today, and you thinking about a future. You feel me? Like it's a really hurtful thing. So shout out to anybody who is in a relationship where you feel like you are alone. I need you to analyze yourself and your situation. If it's a financial thing where they're helping you financially, then baby, I'm gonna need you to get up off that thing and do something, because you don't need to be in a relationship just because they can do this, this, and this. Right. Are you happy? Are you content? Are you complacent? Like, what's going on? Because if there's no elevation in your relationship and you don't feel that happiness inside and out with each other, then you need to cut that dead. You need to cut it dead.
That's facts. And I have been that. I'll just be honest. My last relationship, I did ask him to marry me. I begged him to marry me when it came to us having kids. I begged him to have kids with me. He did not want to do either one, but it just got to the point where he was just like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And I got that whenever we argue, whenever we fought. Oh, I didn't even want to get married. You wanted this.
See?
I didn't even want these kids. You wanted this. And that is to hear that from somebody that you love unconditionally, to hear that I didn't want this, I didn't want to be with you, I didn't want to have kids with you. That is the most belittling feeling that anybody could ever feel.
Yeah.
When you put your heart and soul into somebody that doesn't give two shits about you, it hurts, and it makes you question if you are good enough. And I always felt like that. Like, well, what's so wrong with me? Because I saw, all my friends getting married.
Yeah.
I saw the way that their men would treat them, not to compare, but just like little things that I felt like I deserved because of the woman that I know that I was being to him, I was not getting. And if I did, I had to ask for it. And that didn't make me feel any better either, because I too felt like that. Just like she said, well, are you doing this because you genuinely want to do it, or are you doing it because I asked you? Because before you weren't doing it, but now that I asked you and brought it up, now all of a sudden you're doing it. So again, it just made me feel like you're just doing this because I said something.
Right.
And that, just like you said, you can find a man that will do X, Y, and Z without you having to say anything. You just have to find that man for you. And unfortunately for me, that was not the man for me. Because I like I said, I understood that. Like, I don't feel like I'm asking for a lot. I've, being with somebody, being married to them, being the mother of their children, I just feel like there's certain things that, as a man to a woman, to show your appreciation, that you should be able to do for your woman. And I don't feel like it's something that she should have to ask you for. And I know we all have, well, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that, I was never taught. And while that may be the case, when you love somebody, when you want to go out of your way to make somebody feel good, to make someone feel loved or happy, nobody has to tell you anything. Whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to do whatever you have to do to put a smile on that person.
You're going to learn.
Exactly. Or you're going to communicate that. Like, hey, I don't know how to love. I don't know how to treat a woman, but I know that I love you, and I know that I want to see you happy. So what are some things that you want me to do so that you can feel and know how much I love and care about you, and then go from there. And just like she said in that video, it's a fact. You should never have to beg anybody to do anything. If a man or a woman really cares about you, their love for you is going to come naturally. And it makes me feel really sad for that girl in that video, because not only did she potentially embarrass herself at that restaurant, she embarrassed herself on social media. Like you said, I don't know why she put that video.
I think they were at the crib.
Oh, they were?
I think they were at the crib.
Oh, okay. Well, still, you're, putting that on social media, just like you said. I don't know what her intentions were with that.
Right.
But I don't feel
I really believe that she thought that people was going to have her back and was like, yeah, you better marry that girl. Look at what she did for you. But there's a difference.
It is.
He wasn't like,
right. You could tell, like the lady said, like he was annoyed. Like, here, like that's not the first time she did that.
Because, listen, I know some women who have asked their partners to marry them. Okay. And the man was like, oh, snap. Okay, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't expecting this. I was going to actually do it for you, but you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not knocking women who ask their partners to marry them. I'm not knocking that. But because tradition is whatever you make it, honestly.
Right.
But if you've done it before and you don't see, because like I said, it looks like she's done that before. Maybe not the pancakes. Maybe it was
bread. She's brought it up.
Maybe it was rice-a-roni. I don't know. But she's done it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the first time you did it and you didn't get the reciprocation that you wanted,
right,
I wouldn't have tried no more.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have tried no more. If he doesn't tell me, not yet, let me get my stuff together, or let's buy this, or let's do this first, then ask me again in 3 months or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Right.
But if it's straight now, I ain't asking you no more.
Right.
That I do the same thing with friendships. If I ask you, hey, if I know that I'm down for you, and I ask you for a simple thing like, hey, can you do this for me? Right. Or can you look out for me, or whatever, like share or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you don't do that, I ain't gonna ask you no more.
Right. Because I know where we stand. So why am I gonna keep wasting?
I know where we stand. Will I support you the way that I did? No.
Right.
In a relationship, if I asked the man to marry me and he had an attitude, I ain't gonna ask you no more.
Right.
I ain't gonna be here. I'm gonna pack my shit. I'm gonna go.
Right.
I'm about to go. Because if I want this and you don't, and you feel and you look annoyed, oh baby, you don't need me here. You don't need me here.
Right.
I'm finna go.
Right.
Bye.
That part. And I feel like our society nowadays, where a lot of people have gotten used to that, just the being married without being married, like
Yeah.
requiring everything that
Common law. It's called common law.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like that, you're getting I'm cooking for you, I'm cleaning for you, I'm doing all these things for you that I would do if I was your wife, but I'm not your wife. So I feel like that has become the norm for us in our society. And as far
Right.
as like marriage and the value of that and the transparency and when it comes to relationships and communication, it's not really a thing anymore because like nowadays I feel like you're on the dating scene, you're like, hey, this is what my expectations are, or I'm dating to marry. So these are the things, being very transparent, very open about what you want in a relationship, what you require from your partner.
Right.
You get a lot of the, oh, why are you being picky? Oh,
Right.
this is why you're single. This is why don't nobody want to talk to, because you're putting your foot down and saying, hey, before either one of us go any further and waste our time, I just want to let you know that I'm dating to marry. So if you're not dating me to marry me, there's no point in doing this.
Oh, you can't have fun. I just got out of serious relationship. I don't feel like I could commit right now. I just need to be single and
Yeah.
figure it out. But you want me to do everything that a girlfriend would.
Right.
Some of us don't even want to be in relationships. It's what?
Yeah.
FWBs. You know what I mean? Or we just chilling, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like you want someone to act like a wife. You
Right.
act like a girlfriend or
Right.
whatever.
You know, treat
you
me
want
like,
and treat you like royalty.
yeah.
And you don't even put me in the same court.
Yeah, like
You know what I mean?
we're just FWBs, but every time you call me, you expect me to answer and be available.
Exactly.
And then if I'm not, you're looking at me some type of way, like, or you expect me to just not entertain other people, like, but we're not together. And you made it clear to me this isn't what you want. So
I
why
want
am
you
I
to be
holding that for you?
affectionate, but not too attached. I
Right.
want you to like me, but not too much. I
Right.
want you to be available, but not too much. It's
Right.
like it's just all these contradictions in
Yes.
the dating game now, and it's just a whole bunch of hurt people trying to level up against each other, and they don't want to get hurt again, so they put on this facade of, I don't care, or I'm not gonna get too attached to people, I'm not gonna love nobody else until I feel like it. Yes, it is good to heal. Yeah, I'm not telling you to jump from relationship to relationship, but don't waste nobody's time,
That part.
and don't play with people's emotions.
That part.
Don't treat them like y'all a couple and you don't care. You feel me? Because there's a lot of dudes that are treating women the way they want it to be treated, but there's no attachment. Like
Right.
the woman is falling for this man, and he really don't care. He got Tisha, Tasha, and all of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, but I told you I was talking
Right.
to other people.
Right. And in the
So
same
you
breath,
sitting here cuddling with me.
yeah, telling me you love me.
It's like, it's crazy.
It is.
How you will emotionally invest with someone, and just to find out that it was just a facade.
Right.
That makes you not want to trust, doesn't make you want to love again, doesn't make you want to open up, be vulnerable. Right. Vulnerability is very fragile, and people forget that. Yes. People want you to be vulnerable, but yet when you are, they take it as a sign of weakness, and then they take over that, And I just feel like people got to stop playing around. It's okay if you want to be single. It's okay if you want to shop around, but just be honest with yourself and be honest to others. Like, hey, I'm not really that interested in you, but I think your backside is kind of cute. So I'm going to talk to you for a couple of months until I get bored. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it sounds harsh, but be real with the person. And then we should going to be like, ooh, maybe. Or they might be like, nah, I'm good. And let somebody give somebody the chance to make a choice.
Right.
Give somebody a chance. Don't capture someone's soul and then just let it go.
Yeah.
Because them soul ties are real.
Yes.
And you can really mess with someone's head because they don't know how to feel. Like, okay, I like this person, but I shouldn't like them too much because I got to remember I'm single and they're talking to other
Right.
people. So I got to like be distant, but I still want to be close. And it's just like, it's just too much. It's
It
too much.
is.
Be real and be honest.
Absolutely.
And that's what we gonna say with that.
Yeah, because it's like, how much time and energy and emotion would you save yourself potentially or
Yeah,
somebody else by being upfront and
yeah,
honest from the jump, from those first conversations when you are showing interest before you guys even get to wherever you're going, to
right,
say, hey, this is exactly what I'm looking for. This is exactly what I want.
right.
So if this isn't what you want, then keep it moving, because again, that would save you down the road of having to deal with men like this young lady here, unfortunately, who's been with him for God knows how long, and he's like, no, I don't want to marry you, so
Right.
it's just like, save people time, save people emotions, put yourself in other people's shoes. If you wouldn't want that done to you, don't do it to them. If
No,
you really don't want to get married, that is totally fine.
it's
You
okay.
need to make sure you're dating people that are on the same page as you, because
Exactly.
it, like I said,
There's always gonna be someone who gets jiggy with your choices.
right,
Don't force someone to. Don't
right,
manipulate.
right,
Don't coerce.
right,
It
or
should
keep that
always
from
be
somebody.
exactly.
I shouldn't have to find out when I'm proposing to you that you don't want to get married and you had no intention of marrying me. That's something I should have been told from the jump.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm feeling you. I like you. But at the end of the day, I just want you to know that if this goes X amount of time, I don't have no intention of getting married, or
Right.
I don't have no intention of asking you to marry me, being in a relationship, or just like when it comes to people with children, like you dating somebody and you find out down the road, in the beginning they were down to have kids, and now all of a sudden, oh, I don't want to have kids. Like, okay, but you told me in the beginning you did, or vice versa. So it's
Right.
just like,
Don't lie.
don't lie, don't hide that, be
Yeah.
transparent, be open,
Be very
regardless of
transparent.
the reaction that you feel you might get. Because just like you said, there are men and women out here alike that have no intention on getting married, who are cool with just
Yeah.
being in the dating pool, who don't want kids, who do want kids. You just have to communicate that till you find what you're looking for, so you're not wasting people's time, especially these women, when you're like, well, I don't want no serious relationship. Okay, you need to make that clear to these women from the beginning, because I'm pretty sure 60 to 70% of the time going in, if you're not being told, like, hey, just so we're clear, I just want to be friends with benefits, or I'm just looking for a good time. It's once that person has been emotionally involved and is like, well, I met your mom, I met your family, you keep telling me you love me every time we cuddle, but you won't tell people that we're dating. Oh, well, we're not dating. Like, okay, why take it this far then?
Right.
So again, saving people a lot of heartache, a lot of heartbreak, emotional attachments. Be transparent, be honest, say what you want up front. And if it aligns with what you want, go for it. If not, spare that person the
Yeah.
emotional damage of playing with them, because you truly don't want this, but you don't want to say that because you really like this person.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Don't do that. It's not nice.
It's not.
Be kind, people.
It's not good for anybody's mental health.
It's not.
It's not good.
And when people aren't right mentally, that's how, sometimes bad things can happen. People
Yeah.
have lost their lives because people
Oh
aren't
yeah. I
mentally.
met somebody who stabbed her boyfriend 27 times
Mm.
because he decided to go back to his wife.
Ooh.
And you heard me. So yeah.
Yeah.
Don't mess with people. Because
Right.
people will turn first 48 on that ass.
Right. And you never know how a person's going to act. Just like, I think there's a, what is it? It's called a crime of passion. They use that in court a lot. But yeah, people have literally gotten away with murder like that because they're like, hey, this person was so in love with this person that they just snapped, and this is what happened. That's a real thing, so you have to be very mindful of things like that. And like we said, you can't play with people's emotions.
Right.
And speaking of playing with people's emotions, moving on to the whole Carlee Russell situation.
Yeah.
That I'll let you take it away with that first.
Should I? I want you to speak first. I want you to speak first.
Okay. So
Listen.
when I first heard about um her story, I'm gonna be honest, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way.
Speak your
But
truth.
once I saw, I'm pretty sure by now everybody knows who Carlee Russell is. If you don't know, Google it, because I'm not even going there.
Right.
I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not giving the whole backstory. So
Right.
Carlee Russell is her name. I'm pretty sure everybody has heard of her. I'm pretty sure if you are a member of the Black community, you have really heard of her. So long story short, when the news story first came out about what happened to her and how she was potentially kidnapped or whatever they wanted to call that. It felt like, I don't know, I had a lot of questions because I just felt like, when it came to her like seeing a toddler on the highway, I was kind of just like, nobody else saw that. It's pitch black and you managed to. So I had a whole bunch of questions, but I gave it the benefit of the doubt. Long story short, turns out that she was not telling the truth, that this was just a ploy. I don't really know what it was for. Only she really knows that. Just based on what I read in the news, I'm sounding like she just wanted to get away from her boyfriend or get revenge on her boyfriend or something. I don't know. But for me, it was very unfortunate because I just feel like women in our community already, there's so many missing women out there that don't get any news at all. I have here in our hometown of Colorado, there was I think she's 16. I got to get her information, but she went missing in 2016. That little girl is still missing. She has never been found. And she got publicity, but not at the extent that Carlee Russell got it in any way, shape, or form. And so it just made me think about girls like her or women whose families have begged the news stations to air their story, and because they didn't go missing in the way that the news feels is newsworthy, they're not getting any attention. Right. And so for me, it was very frustrating because, like I said, I feel like when it comes to our Black community, especially with our Black women, if one woman does it, we all get categorized
exactly
to that. So when this woman sat up here in the public and made everybody think she was kidnapped and found out she was lying, now we're all being labeled liars.
Yeah.
Just like you said, you sent me that video on TikTok about that young lady who's pregnant and missing.
And it was way before this situation.
Right.
It was way before. And to read the comments, sorry to interject, but
You're fine.
read the comments and to see Black people saying, oh, I don't care if this woman is missing because you fooled me once, so I'm not gonna.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? So you mean to tell me that now, anytime something happens to a Black woman, you just gonna blow it off? I don't know if this was a ploy, if this was a setup, if this was a distraction, if this was a crisis actor. I don't know what the case was, but I don't know all the logistics because I didn't look into it because of the simple fact that I don't care for malarkey like this.
Right.
Because as soon as I found out that it wasn't real, I was like, damn, this shit is going to hit us and nip us in the bud, man.
Yeah.
This is going to really make us look bad. And I say us as a whole, because again, when they see Black people, especially Black women, they deem all of us the same. And I don't feel like that's right, man, because we are all individuals. And if something happens, if something was to ever happen to one of my sisters, you know what I mean? One of my sisters, and to see our own people say that shit in the comments and say how, oh, they don't care or fool me once, shame on you, and you really finna do that? Like, how dare you, first of all? Second of all, really? Like, yo, like this really hurt my soul. And it's like, And nobody's talking about there was a Caucasian lady who actually did this.
Mm-hmm.
And she got caught up too. But ain't nobody bringing that up.
Right.
Ain't nobody bringing that up. This one is gonna be the momentum in the history books. We're gonna remember
Mm-hmm.
her. And then people making memes about her, like, oh,
Right.
when the boss don't approve the PTO, and then they show a picture of her. Like, that shit is ludicrous, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I understand y'all make a joke to heal or to get over a situation, but there are some things that when you open the floodgates for jokes, everybody laughs at us.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is in our community, but everybody is laughing at us. Everybody is looking down on us. Like, look at these people.
Yeah.
Look at these people. I'm glad that they do go missing and stuff like that. And then you
Yeah.
open the floodgates for ridicule and insult. And that's what hurts my soul, man. That hurts my
Yeah.
soul when we do this shit to each other. And obviously there has to be a mental issue, because I do remember, and I saw it on social media. That's how I got the updates on the thing. If it happens to come down my feed, I may look at it, and then I might, just, and I'm gonna keep scrolling. You know what I'm saying? But they were saying, like, um the family was in on it, her the boyfriend's sister. It's just a whole bunch. So that's why I feel like somebody getting some money, somebody getting the money to do this. Because what was we talking about the other episode? Remember when we were talking about not all skin folk is kinfolk, and some people will do anything for the bag, anything for the bag, even disgrace themselves for the bag. Oh, you finna pay me $1 million? I don't care if people hate me. I don't care if
Right.
people do this. I don't care if people judge me. I got $1 million. And
Yeah.
people really negate their integrity just for some paper.
Right.
And listen, I'm sorry. I know we need money to live in this society, but I can't sell my soul for that shit. I can't. I can't, because now you're literally the donkey of the century.
Yeah.
Now your name is literally trademark a joke.
Right.
So is money really worth being a laughing stock? Oh, you don't care, right?
Right.
Now, nobody is ever going to take anything that you say seriously. You know? Or you
Right.
did this for attention, for somebody. Like, they were reading the text messages that she sent her
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend, and it was like, yeah, now I'm gonna scatter your pieces and stuff like that. If you really wanted you need to leave a person if you really got to go to that extent.
Right.
I gotta fake my abduction just to get you to notice me or to love
Time
me.
to go.
It's time to go. And that ties in with the marrying person too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That ties in. If I have to go to extremes, beg, plead, fake abduction,
Yeah.
then we don't need to be together. We don't.
Right.
That's toxic. That's toxic.
It really is.
That's why I'm saying it's a whole bunch of couples coupling, and they need to cut it out.
Mm-hmm.
We really got to stop that. You know, it's a lot of people with mental health issues that are in relationships that are thriving in chaos.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know how she got the traction and the conversation going on her end to that extent, because I was seeing like other people saying, yeah, and I'm going to put money and as a reward. And when you put money down, that's when people start talking and stuff like that.
Right.
They money talk. So once they put the backing into that, that's when stuff started to happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I noticed that after the money was sent, that's when she was found.
Mm.
So that's why some people are saying, are they grifting? Was the boyfriend in on it? Was everybody like, playing the game to get money? But honestly, I really feel like it was deeper than all of that.
Right.
Conspiracy, whatever. I just know, like I said, people do anything for the bag, even
Yeah.
discriminate themselves and their people.
Yeah.
I just feel like that whole situation set us back 500 years.
Mm.
And like, damn, black women, black people as a whole, we're trying to break stereotypes and bring more, positivity into our community. And then it just be that one more that soca that come in
Mhm.
just ignorant shit. And then boom, we right back to square one.
Right.
It's like a game of Monopoly with us. And I
Right.
hate that. We literally are trying so hard
Right.
to get above the water. And as soon as we get afloat and get a raft, somebody come from the trenches and be like, pop.
Because that was the whole thing for me when she was first missing. The amount of media coverage she got and how quickly she got it made me
Hey, I
feel
was like, who is she?
so it made me feel really good. It made me feel like really hopeful because that for me made me feel like the direction that we are going as a country as far as our value for
We're
our
starting to
missing
care about each
Black
other.
women. Right. That's how I felt. I felt like our country was really starting to care about our Black women. So for it to come out that she was lying like this and this was all a hoax, I kind of felt that way too. Like, call it a conspiracy theory or whatever you want to call it, but I really felt like that. Like, maybe I felt like this was kind of a ploy that was done intentionally to put that little birdie in people's ear when there is that Black woman who is missing under suspicious circumstances, and people want to do this or do that, but they have that little, oh, remember Carlee Russell in
Right.
there. So it makes people
all
talk.
it takes is one. All
Yes.
it takes is one.
Yes.
But for us, all it takes is one. Everybody else can make mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just this person. Oh, this person had a hard life. Oh, this person is just mentally unstable. But
Right.
let one of us mess up. All of y'all liars. All of
Yeah.
y'all deceivers. Ha 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 ha. Look at that egg on your face. Oh, I'm glad I didn't care. Cause see,
Right.
this is why I don't care. Oh, see,
Right.
this is why I don't believe none of them.
Right.
It's turning, it's making division. So now
Right.
you have division amongst us as a people, and then you have division amongst us as a community, and then division as us as people.
Right.
So now people on the outside looking in is and then
Right.
people in our community is So
Right.
now, oh, y'all got y'all backs turned. Now I can do whatever I want.
Right.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's how it is. I don't know if y'all seen the Barbie movie. Shout out to that. And I would like to do talk about that because it was some key points. And I just want to point out when that movie came out, I didn't hear no Black women talking about something. Why she gotta be a white Barbie? Why we can't have mixed Barbie? Why we can't have this Barbie? No,
I saw that on my Facebook. Somebody was saying that, like, when Barbie came out, Black people were supporting her, but when the Black Little Mermaid came out, white people were ready to hang her. So it was like, it's kind of
ready
like
to petition. And you
Right.
see how what is the word that I want to use? Dang, it was like right there on the tip. But anyway, what I want to say is that we ain't on that type of time.
Right.
Even if we do it to each other, we ain't trying to do it to nobody else. It seems like,
Right.
you know,
Or even
only against ourselves.
I feel like the amount of support that Barbie got compared to
We
the Little
support
Mermaid.
everybody but ourselves.
That part, because to be honest, I'm gonna be very honest. I don't give a shit about Barbie or the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit about
Black, white,
either
or in
or.
between.
But when I started hearing certain things about it, I wanted to see it for myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And the movie is a lot deeper. Like, it has cover linings that you have to see, but it is a lot deeper than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Honestly. That movie was more so for men, and people wanted to bash it like, oh, feminists is this. They have little things that make it sound like it's a whole feminist vibe. But when you really open your eyes and your mind, you see it's deeper than that. It's literally explaining that men should be enough for themselves.
Right.
You don't have to attach yourself to anything to impress someone. Just be yourself.
Right.
Be content and happy with yourself. Like, you trying to impress somebody, getting the abs, getting this, getting the car, getting the job, getting this, getting that. You think, oh, just because I make this amount of money, all the women are going to want me. Or just because I look like this, all the women are going to want me.
Right.
No, it could be the woman that you want that don't want nothing to do with you.
Right.
It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you.
Right.
find somebody else who wants you.
Right. And that's
Just like the first two topics we talking about. If
Right.
if you not getting the reciprocation that you need, leave. It's not for you.
right.
It's
And why
okay.
be like everybody else? I feel like as a society, we are such the whole term that leading the lambs to the slaughter. Like we just follow whatever the new trend is. And like I said, that was one of the main reasons why I started Black Visionville, was because I saw that trend when it came to our Black lives mattering, and it mattered for a certain amount of time. But fast forward to today, you don't see people out there protesting. You don't see the amount of unity and community that we had during that trend. So it's like, I feel like as a society, not even in our own community, just as a country, we are such a, oh, Simon says, or follow the leader. Like it really pisses me off, because I'm like, whatever the new thing is, that's all you see. Like for instance, when it comes to Barbie, oh, now everybody's wearing pink. Now everybody, even in the music industry, now everybody's coming out with Barbie songs, and now everybody wants to dress pink and wear this on their social media. And it's such like, be original. Like when are we gonna get back to that, being original? I, as a woman, I can't speak for men, but I don't want my man to look like everybody else. We live in such a society where it's like, oh, you got to look like the Kim Kardashians or the Meg Thee Stallions or the Cardi B's, and if you don't, you're not attractive, and no man's gonna want. Why do I have to look like everybody else? Wouldn't it be better for me to stand out and be different than to be looking like everybody else? Because if I look like the Cardi B's and the Kim Kardashians and the whoever else our society pits
another one
pedestal for standards of beauty, what makes me stand out? What makes me an individual? What makes me me? Because I look like her. I look like her. I sound like her. Nothing makes me unique. That's what I love about being me. I don't look like everybody else. I look like me. I don't dress like everybody else. I dress like me. I have my own way of thinking, my own personality. But it seems like I said, we live in such a society where that's what it is. Everybody is striving to be like everybody else. Everybody is striving to be that Barbie or that Ken doll. But I'm like, I don't want that. And I feel
nobody knows who they are.
Right.
Everybody wants to be someone else.
Right.
And another thing in that movie, like the daughter was like, Mom, why you acting like this? Be weird, embrace that. Like, be your dark self, be who you are. Like, who you trying to be is not who you is.
Right.
And that's key. That's key. Like, we so worried about what the next person gonna say. Baby boo poo, somebody gonna judge you regardless.
Right.
You can be a Barbie, you can be this, you can be that, and somebody still gonna say, oh, her eye go to the left. I literally, listen, the moment that I woke up from trying to impress people was when I seen this beautiful model. I seen gorgeous, chef's kiss to the sky, gorgeous. To me, she was flawless. Okay, and I'm reading the comments, and there's hella people talking about some. She got 3 marks right here. Oh, she got her eyebrow too thick. Oh, I couldn't do that. Oh, she got this, she got that, and I was like, wow.
Right.
And to me, she looked like a work of art.
Right.
And to read the comments and to see what people are saying, even when you look at these BBL people, the supermodels, you'll read the comments and you'll see, and it'll be one person. All it takes is one.
Yep.
That's why I'm saying all it takes is one. So if you're striving for perfection or striving to be like, oh, I gotta look like her, or I gotta be like him, or I gotta have this, or I gotta have that, baby, you're gonna be fighting all your life, because it's always, you're gonna get this and then you're gonna want more.
Right.
And so it's never gonna be enough.
Right.
So now you're going to be trying to chase after this fantasy.
Right.
And you're going to get tired, because everybody needs a break. You can't be on it all the time.
Right.
You know, embrace yourself. Embrace. If you don't know who you are, then this is the time that you need to find yourself.
Right. And 9 times out of 10, the beauty image that you are striving for, that society is like, oh, this is the standard of beauty. This is what you have to.
They be feeling insecure.
Real. It's not even real. Like the amount of Photoshop that they do to these celebrities' pictures, the amount of makeup that 90% of these celebrities or women who are quote the beauty standard have on. It's insane. Like some of them look like two different people when they take off.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, we're gonna Photoshop out your stretch marks or your
Right.
cellulite, and we're just like it's the level of beauty that you are striving for. It doesn't exist
Yeah.
without these photoshops, without this makeup. These women don't really look like that without these BBLs, you know, without these surgeries that women get to try to make themselves look like, oh, the it girl. You will never achieve that because it's not real. It doesn't exist.
Right.
It just exists on the internet. But when you see 90% of those women in person, you be like, dang, I didn't know Cardi B has stretch marks. Like, yeah, because in the photos, they Photoshop that shit out.
Exactly.
You know, so
Like
it's
people,
like,
there's no such thing as perfection. And
right.
you gotta love you for who you are, because somebody gonna look at you and you might be looking busted and crusted with some sleet in your eye and all that kind of stuff, and somebody look at you like, dang, you look so
I had
good.
that happen to me. Like literally, I was having
Like,
the
one
worst
time,
day ever. I looked like shit to me, and literally out of nowhere, I'm walking out of the store, and this guy just stops me, and he's like, "I just want you to know that you look beautiful."
yeah,
Like he didn't ask for my number or anything. He was just like, "I just wanted to tell you that you look beautiful," and I'm like, "Really? I feel like
right,
shit right now. Like I'm on my booty sweating. I'm musty. Like what you
exactly.
mean?" But he was really adamant, like, I just had to tell you that. And I was like, that's crazy because I felt like I looked like shit. So it just, you know, just reminder beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And you can
Exactly.
look at somebody, just like you said, and be like, she is gorgeous. And someone else can look at this same
Like,
person and be like, ugh, why her
right.
booty hanging
You
like
are
that?
not,
Like,
you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And
exactly.
that's
You shouldn't
okay.
have to be.
You
Exactly.
there's nothing wrong with you if someone doesn't like you.
Right.
You can have the biggest crush and be like, oh, we would look so good together, or
Right.
I feel like you'd be perfect. And if they don't like you, it's okay. That doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you.
It's
And I really
them.
want it's not even them. It's just not meant to be.
Right.
It's not meant.
That's what I'm saying. It's them. If they don't like you, that's
Yeah.
okay. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. If
No,
you,
because when you say it's them, some
Mhm.
people, their mentality is like, yeah, you're stupid for not
Right.
wanting me. You know
Yeah.
how some people, they take
Yeah.
things and they run with it. So that's what I understood what you meant.
Yeah.
I understood what you meant. But for the people who not quite there, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh well,
For
yeah,
the
you're right. It's them. You're stupid.
nagging Nancy.
Uh-huh. You
Yeah.
know how you know how the people when they holler at you on the street and you be
Right.
like, oh no, thank you. And they be like, well, you ugly anyway. Would you just call me
Right.
fine the second ago? What you
Right.
mean?
I saw something like that on social media that was like, women, why do you give men your number when you have no intention of talking to them? And one of the comments was, because if I don't, I get flipped out on and my life could potentially be in danger because
Right.
I done told your ass no. Like,
Exactly.
that's a thing too. Like when it
Yeah.
comes to women and you turning guys down, I've got cussed out before because
Oh,
I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm in a relationship. I have a boyfriend. Like, oh, okay,
And
well,
they get
fuck you
mad.
too then, bitch. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, first I was fine. Now I'm a bitch because I'm being honest and I'm like, I'm in a relationship and I don't want to cheat on my boyfriend with you. So now I'm a
I'm
bitch.
sorry.
It's crazy. Like,
But if I do cheat, I'm
right,
a whore.
right.
Stupid.
Super.
Mental health is real out here.
It really
Mental health
is.
is real out here.
It really
Because
is.
we take out frustrations on each other, and half the time we don't even know where that frustration comes from.
Yeah.
You know, that retaliation, that toxicity, it comes from within. And when you spew negativity at people, that shows that there's something rotting inside of you. I don't care what you say. I can have a bad day, but I'm not trying to make it bad for nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But some people really be having bad days and be like, you know what? If everybody, if everything, I'm finna chaos it up, you know? So it's like some people really be on that. And if you're on that type of time, I really need you to pause and readjust your clock, because that's no way to live life. Just having all that anger in your heart.
Right.
You got to find out, where's that anger coming from, babe? I've had that anger before, where I was angry at everything and everyone. And I was like, I wasn't trying to cause chaos, but it was just like, I didn't trust people. I had to find out what was wrong. What's causing this?
Right.
Why am I angry? Why do I not trust? You know? And I had to heal from that. We got a lot of healing to do as a
Yeah.
society. Like, I literally, when I was at work, this dude was standing in a line and he was talking to the customer service agent. And apparently she wasn't typing properly and she
Mm.
wasn't writing what he was saying. And you don't know that lady's situation. And
Right.
you yelling at her like, you don't speak English? You stupid.
Mm.
This was a Spanish guy saying it. And I was like, yo, how would you like it if somebody said that to you? I'm pretty sure you wouldn't like that tone.
Right.
Okay, maybe she messing up, but you just got to be patient. Maybe you making her nervous with the way you're talking to her.
Right.
You know, you don't know the other person on the other side of the glass,
Yeah.
and you treating them like this. And I was like, that's not no way to treat a customer service agent.
Mhm.
And I apologize if I ever went off on a customer service agent, unless you had an attitude. If you had an attitude, you deserve that shit. But no,
I'm not sorry to you.
sorry. Yeah. But
Everybody
no,
else, my bad.
even you know what? Even if you were but much to me, I
Mhm.
am sorry if I took it there too,
Yeah.
because I don't know what's going on in your life. You might have one Cheerio left in the box, and you mad
Right.
about it. And you at that dead end job, or you at work and you trying to figure out stuff, and you just mad, and you just
Right.
took it out on me because maybe I asked you a complicated question, or maybe
Yeah.
I'm the 83 third call of the day and you tired, so you
Right.
took it out on me. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you had a bad day, but don't
Right.
talk like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, shit, we got to treat each other better. We all have
Super.
bad days. We all have bad days, but we
Yes.
can't pass her the energy. We can't do that
And
because
I'm
it's not gonna flow. It's not gonna flow.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that up because that leads us into our last topic of this episode,
Yeah.
talking about proximity killing. So, from last week, from Sunday, July 23rd to Wednesday, July 26th, I went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin with my fiance so he could go and visit his grandma who is at the end of her life. While we were there, we get to our hotel, and we paid for this hotel through Expedia, mind you. So we get to the hotel. The hotel does not accept the debit card that we paid with because I guess they needed a deposit and they only take the deposit on credit cards or bank linked debit card, whatever. Long story short, the hotel didn't let us end up checking in. The lady at the front desk was very rude, and of course this was skin folk,
Mm.
very fucking rude. She was like, basically, I don't give a shit. I don't care that you just
Wow.
came from out of town. I don't care that you don't have anywhere to stay. That's a you problem. We
Wow.
don't take this form of payment. So if you don't have anything else, you can move around. Didn't even explain to us why we weren't allowed to check in. She was trying to make it seem like we just didn't pay, and so we couldn't check in. And I'm like, okay, we reserved and paid for this room a week ago. So what's the issue? And then she, oh, you paid Expedia. You didn't pay us. It's the same hotel. We paid.
Right.
So had to sit there, call Expedia on the phone with them 11, 12 o'clock at night just for them to say, oh, no, the payment's good. It's just the deposit the hotel requires. They don't accept the type of payment you're trying to pay with. So I'm looking at this girl like, why didn't you say that?
Right.
Why do I have to hear that from Expedia when you're the hotel that I went through? So if it
Right.
wasn't for this gentleman explaining that to me, we would have just been shit out of luck. And so it really goes back to that. Like, I'm looking at her like, first of all, I knew it was going to be an issue because the lady she was helping before us, she had an attitude with. So
Oh.
that for me just told me like the energy was
Already on them.
I could just feel that energy that she was going to be a problem. And I'm like, I didn't tell you to work here. I didn't tell you to fill out this out.
Right.
If you are to the point where you are being a nasty person at work, you're giving people out, you're treating the customers with disrespect, go find another job.
Right.
Because it took
That don't involve people.
everything in my being not to hop over that counter and drag that girl, because
bet.
the amount of disrespect that she had for us. Mind you, we were on a plane all day, got off super tired, sticky, sweaty, nasty, just wanted to go lay down. It's 11 o'clock at night. We had no rental car, we had nowhere else to go, and she was just like, well, tough shit. Luckily he had family that we were able to stay with, but I'm like, at the end of the day, we didn't, we would have just been shit out of luck. They didn't even try to offer us like a comp or, hey, sorry for the misunderstanding. We can do this one time. Nothing. Just like super rude. Then I called the next day to complain on her. And her manager's like, oh, yeah, this isn't the first complaint that we've got about her. So I'm going to have to talk about her. Like, talk
Yeah.
about that. Like, if this isn't the first complaint you got, why is she still working here?
Right.
Because clearly, if she's gotten complaints on her before and you're telling me this, then that means, that sounds like to me you haven't talked to her about the first complaint. Because she's like, oh, yeah, we've got complaints about her before. And she's still working here and she's still giving people a shitty attitude. That tells me she doesn't know about the complaints that she's had on her, or she does and she doesn't care, or she does and she's not being disciplined properly because she thinks she can continue to do that shit.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay, word to the wise, we'll never be reserving a room from here again. But it was just like, it was insane while we were there. Other than that, it was like we had a really good time. I had met some really nice people in his family that just made that trip better. While we were there, we went to a Family Dollar in the neighborhood that we were staying at with his family member. It was like at 10 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock that night, we were watching the news and they said that a 9-year-old boy had been shot and killed in that same parking lot. So that was the first day. Then the next day, there was a 15-year-old that got shot and killed in the park that was in that area.
Oh, wow.
Then the following day, there were 5 people that got killed, 5 people that got shot, 2 of them that got killed. 1 of those were a teenager. Then the next day, a 33-year-old was shot and killed. So this was in the span of like 3 days.
Hey.
So it really brought me back to that whole thinking of proximity killings,
Yeah.
and the understanding of the whole, we are damn nearly extinct. I'm like, in the span of 3 days, that was 1, 2, 3, 4 people that lost their lives like that.
They didn't have to.
Were children. Then the case with the 9-year-old, the suspects were a 42-year-old and a 14-year-old who were in custody. All of these victims were Black. All of them. So that's Black lives that are no longer here, that were not taken by the hands of police officers. Where's the uproar?
Right.
Where's the, we're not going to stand for this. Something needs to be done about this.
Right.
It just, I feel like in our community, proximity killings have become so normalized to the point where it's just like, well, that's a them problem. That's their family member, not mine.
And it's not a them problem because it affects us all. That's somebody's kid. Right. That's somebody's son. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's, child. Like, it just hurts me when we have to retort to violence to overcome a situation. Oh, they killed Ray, so I'm finna kill Shakita. And it's like, I'm not joking right now. It's like, it's real shit. Like, people really out here killing over the most dumbest crap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like fighting over blocks that you don't even have a ownership to.
Right.
Fighting over women, fighting over men, fighting over territory and stupid stuff. Oh, he looked at me, or he won't give me the shoes, or I got this, or whatever, or he trying to make it out the hood, or he think he better than me, or he looked at me, or we got beef because we went to elementary school together. And it really be like dumb crap, bro.
It does. Or even like, oh, well, growing up, my dad didn't like your dad, so now I don't like you.
Like, what?
Like, you don't even know me. I don't even know your dad. And it just, I saw after the fact for the 9-year-old that there was a group of people who had gathered, I guess they were family or something, who had gathered to kind of honor this little boy who had lost his life. And I thought the same thing when here it was a 14-year-old who was he broke into a smoke shop, and in the pursuit, being chased by the cops, he had a gun on him. The cops ended up killing him. When you looked at this little boy's profile, this 14-year-old, you could tell that he was like, I don't know, he had a bunch of like, oh, F the police on there. Like you could tell that by his Facebook page that he didn't have a lot of guidance. I'll just put it that way.
Right.
And so for me, my whole thing is when it comes to proximity killings, when it comes to our youth and our members in our community that are losing their lives, it seems like to me, it just makes me feel like you see a lot of support at those candlelight vigils. You see a lot of support at those.
Oh, yes.
Where is the support for this child running reckless with no guidance while they're alive?
Exactly.
For
And this
me-
goes back to what we were speaking on previous episodes where we were talking about community.
Yes.
How if Ray Ray ain't doing right by his kids, Auntie Shamil, whatever, somebody is the neighbor, somebody is going to be like, you know what? I know your daddy ain't shit, but let me teach you. This is how you do it, or this is what you be, or hey, don't be like this, or blah blah blah. You take that child under your wing, but we don't have trust amongst each other or ourselves, and we just that fighting and that friction it's really got to stop, and it's like. It's been a setup from the beginning, and we are just playing into that setup.
Generation after generation after
Generation after generation. We just, I haven't seen who cloned Tyrone, but honestly, we are the clones.
Mm-hmm.
We're the clones because we're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And there's no
definition of insanity.
Exactly. There's no individuality. There's no type of, you know what, I'm tired of this, or no, this isn't right. I don't want to be that way. You know, you sitting here passing down traditions of the gangster way and doing things the wrong way. And it's just like, oh gosh, it's just I just want us to wake up.
So we got to, because like we said, we're almost nearly extinct, and the level of rate of extinction, we're taking ourselves out quicker than anybody else is.
Okay.
And I feel like that is something that as a community,
the way we eat, the way we drink, the things
exactly.
We do, like
everything.
It's not even just the violence. It's the soul food ain't really good for the soul.
Right.
And that was passed down because that's all people had. So they had to make what do. And a lot of the food is very fatty. A lot of the food, you know what I mean? And it's just like, so many of our people have so many diseases. Yeah. And it's like, I just want better. Right. But you gotta want better too, babe. You gotta want better. Like I could want the world for you, but if you don't see it as a problem, it's never gonna get fixed.
Right.
You know, it's like a leaky faucet. You've been so immune. You've been so immune to the sound of the drip, you don't even notice it no more. Right. But now that drip is starting to fill up, and that water over time is going to fall over the sink. Yes. So why do we have to wait for things to get really messed up to make a change?
Right.
All these things should not have happened, and when they do happen, we do need to take accountability. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like all the things that we've spoken about today show us that we have to think better, we have to love better, and we have to communicate better and do better.
Yeah.
It's like if we don't, then all there is going to be is toxicity and chaos.
That
we got enough of that.
100%. We are going to get out of here. I thank you all for your time and joining us. Thank you, Kay, for taking us out with that. Like I said before, we need more empathy in our communities. We got to look out for these babies. We got to look out for the parentless. We got to start being more mindful of these children who are out here running around with no guidance.
Yeah.
We got to start supporting them. We've got to start being there for them more than just getting a balloon and going and standing with a group of people you don't even know to honor these children who are losing their lives because nobody cared to care when they were alive. We've got to do better as a community. We've got to start taking our babies under our wing. If you are a member of the Black community, this is your responsibility.
Yeah,
it is. And even
I know it sounds like a lot. And a lot of people like, what can I do?
Right.
I don't know this, I don't know that. But honestly and truly, Listen, all it takes is a little bit of humanity.
Yes.
And I feel like humans have lost humanity and we really don't care.
Yeah.
And I feel like after Corolla, we really stopped caring.
Yeah.
And a lot of people as a whole have stopped caring. Like it's like that time in the house really kind of adjusted us into the wrong direction. And
Mhm.
I feel like Corolla should have really woken us up and see that anything can happen and we all we got. And we
Right.
all in this together. With
Yep.
High School Music, we're all in this together. We really are. Like, we gotta stop treating each other this way because we are literally all we got, man.
Yes.
It's all we got. And we're gonna lose it all. We're gonna lose it all if we don't get that shit together.
Yes, ma'am. So with that, we're out of here. As always, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Naya, take it away.
So please leave a comment below and also subscribe. Or get a thumbs up. And if you get a thumbs down, you're being very bad, okay? Don't give a thumbs down. Always get a thumbs up. For Naya girl. Okay, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Love y'all.